Hi guys, my name is Sarah and today we're going to be making toffee. So let's get started. Toffee is actually a non-crystalline form of candy. That basically means that it's formed from a sugar solution that did not crystallize. Some other candies that are like this are caramel toffee, taffy, hard candy brittles, and also gummy candy. The opposite of this would be crystalline candy, which is like fudge or marshmallows. So before we start, we should know that we should always wash our hands for 20 seconds before and after handling food, which is what the CDC recommends, and we should always wash all utensils, pots, and pans with hot water to ensure everything's clean before we start, which is what I did off camera. Okay, so over here we have our ingredients to make the toffee. We have 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then 1/4 teaspoon of iodized salt. And this is optional, but you can add milk chocolate to the top, which I will be doing at the end, but it's totally up to you. So here are the ingredients again if you need to look at it. Okay, over here we have our utensils. This is a whisk. We have a silicone scraper to scrape the sides. We also have a pot that is bottom heavy, parchment paper, as well as a pan to put our toffee in after it is done. For this first step, you should line your tray with parchment paper, that way it won't stick to the tray itself, which I went ahead and did. So into your bottom heavy pot, add your butter, then your sugar, then add your salt, and turn the stove to medium-low heat. For candy making, you should be sticking to around 234 degrees Fahrenheit up till 300 degrees Fahrenheit. For this recipe in particular, if you do have a candy thermometer, you should be heating your toffee up till at least 275 degrees Fahrenheit or until 300 degrees Fahrenheit just to be safe. So once you add everything to the bowl, just start mixing until everything is fully incorporated and melted together, especially the sugar. So once everything's melted, add your vanilla extract and then keep mixing until it comes to a boil and changes into an amber color. And this should take around 10 to 15 minutes, but in the video you can see it slowly and gradually turning into the amber color that we want. And the mixture should start to look like this. In order to check if it's done, you should use cold water, and once you put it in, it should harden up and crack like that. So once your mixture is ready, quickly transfer to the pan lined with parchment paper, because if you take too long, this will start to harden up right away. Once you're finished with that, just spread the mixture around so it can be as thin as you want it to be. If it's a little bit thicker, then it's really up to you for your personal preference. And this is optional, but you can add chocolate chips on the top, which is what I did just to make it a little bit more yummier. And after you add the chocolate chips, you can spread it around to make it, I guess, be more of an even of a coat. That way it'll taste a little bit better and melt together. And after that, you can add almonds if you want or other toppings. It's really up to you. So that's the finished product before it goes into the fridge. Once it goes into the fridge, just let it set for at least an hour. The more, the better. And once that is done and we're taking it out, it should look something like this. And once that's done, we're going to take it out and we're going to start to break it apart into a good sized pieces for us to enjoy. So this is the finished product, and it was actually really delicious. I actually enjoyed making this a lot. But here are some tips in order for us to make it properly. So the recipe calls to mix the mixture often when you're trying to get it to turn into an amber color. But for me, I realized it's better to just keep mixing for the 10 to 15 minutes it is on the stove. Because even accidentally leaving it for a few minutes or 30 seconds makes it burn really, really quickly. So we would try to avoid that. That way, if you just mix, you wouldn't have to really worry about that. The second tip is try to keep the heat between medium to low, because heating the mixture too quickly can cause the butter to start separating. So if your pan gets too hot too quickly, we don't really want that because it's going to mess up your mixture. The third tip is if you don't have a candy thermometer like myself or most people, use the water test that I did previously in the video to check if the toffee is ready. If it's still mushy after you take it out the water, then it's not ready. But if it is solid and it snaps like it did in the video, then it's definitely ready. Here are my resources, which include the lecture notes, a book, and the site from the CDC. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and that was all.